Hey, I'm Dave Leary, and today I've got the distinct pleasure of bringing you along for a first look at the all-new Ultimate Ears SoundTap Personal Monitoring DI. Now, this is a box that promises to let you use your in-ears on any stage with any sound system without complicated wiring or expensive transceivers. It's a direct input for your personal monitors. Now, IEMs sound better, they streamline your gear, they make for less sonic chaos on stage, but the biggest hurdle for so many musicians making the switch is that it can be difficult to figure out exactly how to get a good mix going to them. I mean, where do you plug your IEMs in on stage? SoundTap is designed to answer that question. It sits in between the house mixer and the house wedge monitor. So your sound engineer can mix just like they always would for the wedge, but you get control over the volume of your in-ears with this handy knob right here. The setup is extremely basic. You plug this into this. This plugs into this and into these. You got a different mixer? That's fine, it still works. You got a different monitor? That's fine, it still works. Because of the way the ins and outs are done, everything works together and no one has to learn anything new. Now that's what UE told me, at least. That's the promise, but how do we know? Well, we go to a show. I called my buddy John and I said, "Where are you playing tonight?" And that's how I ended up at a casino in a snowstorm checking out his party band, Damaged Goods.
I'm John Francis, and I'm down here in Newport, Rhode Island at a gig tonight, and I'm really excited to try out the brand new UE SoundTap. I mean, I don't think you really need to read the manual. I mean, you plug in, and then you have an output. Adjust the volume knobs, and you're good to go. You know, I'm assuming I can work this off the aux sends on my board that I already have. I'm assuming it'll work with any pair of headphones or earbuds that I have already. So we tapped into the SoundTap. So the way the SoundTap worked great, we took a feed from the aux 1 of the board, so all the auxiliary sends on each channel is kind of what I use for my mix, and just took a 1/4-inch TS cable, 1/4-inch mono cable, instrument cable from the send of the aux, put it into the input on the SoundTap box, and that was really all we needed to set up. I stuck my in-ears into the 1/8-inch headphone output, and everything was great. You could not ask for a more simple setup. When we did a sound check, we had the sound levels at a certain level, just tapping mics, just making sure we're getting signal flow. And all of a sudden, when the band started playing, kind of just blew me out. So I just immediately went for the largest knob I could find, and I turned it down, and I had a great mix the rest of the night. I'm the only guy right now in the band that actually uses in-ears, so I tend to have to bring a lot of stuff to kind of get the signal from the board to my, to my ears. But this box makes it so much easier, so much more streamlined. It's the same cabling, but it's just like half the gear. There's no power to set up. I don't have to run an extension cord. I don't have to run into a power strip. It clips right to my stand. Everything is right there, easy for me to grab. I mean, this thing was great, and it sounded clean. Like, I was worried about maybe some noise, a headphone amp or something like that, but everything was really clean.
Now, every band, every club, and every rehearsal space is set up differently. My rig here in this practice space is different from the rig that I see out in rock clubs, and it's really different from the rig that John's band was using. That's the thing that's most useful about the SoundTap concept, is its flexibility. You just need to know a little bit about the ins and the outs and the controls to use it everywhere. The basic workflow doesn't change, it's always the same. You find the cable going to the wedge. You unplug it and you plug it into the SoundTap. That'll get a mix ready to go for your in-ears. Now, if your band still wants to use the wedge monitor as well, you just take another cable out of the SoundTap's outputs to pass clean, transparent signal on down the line. The ins and outs are pretty straightforward. You've got an XLR combo jack in and out for taking and passing line level signal to a powered monitor, and you've got a speak-on combo jack in and out for speaker level signal, which is what you'll find in clubs that run power amps. Now, both of those jacks can take 1/4-inch cables as well. The only thing you need to know is that you flip this switch on top to select speaker level or line level jacks. Now on the mixer side, SoundTap works with the main outs, the monitor outs, and the aux sends equally well. So you have the freedom to configure things however is best for your band. Now when I went out to see John's band, John's a drummer. He doesn't even get a monitor most of the time. So we just took a 1/4-inch cable from aux 1 and dragged it over to the SoundTap. We were ready to go in no time. You'll know you've got good signal going to your IEMs when you look at the trim light. You want it to dance in the green and yellow, but not hit red. Then you'll be ready to plug in your in-ear monitors into this 3.5mm jack on the front here. Now SoundTap comes with an extension cable, so you won't need to keep your head right next to the box the whole time. Now the volume knob is the biggest thing on this piece, which is great because it's what you're going to touch the most depending on the energy of the song and it's just general sense of the room. It's a really nice knob. It's got this great greasy feel to it, which I very much appreciate. But that's it. You plug in, you plug out, you set your trim, you set your volume, and you're ready to play. That's what's so cool about this concept, is that it's designed to work anywhere. It works on the stages you love, it works really well right here in my basement, and most importantly, it works on all the stages you've never played before. Now, if you're thinking of making the switch to in-ear monitors, if you want that protection, that isolation, that clarity, that freedom to really hear what you actually sound like, the UE SoundTap is definitely something to take a look at because it makes the change really easy. It drastically drops the learning curve. You don't need to learn special lingo or build special rigs. You just plug it in. This is a great system to pair with your wireless transceiver so that you can maintain control of your gear. No more handing it off and hoping it works. Or you can save some coin by running it wired. Now, you might also run into one of a few scenarios where your sound will stop running to your in-ears. But the engineers at UE did a really good job at making sure things always fail safe, like if the batteries die. The SoundTap takes two 9-volt batteries. They're easy to change. It has 35+ hours of operational time. But if it runs out of batteries, the pass-through for the wedge monitor still works. Only your IEMs stop. Now, probably the most important individual feature is that the SoundTap has a unique protective circuit that helps prevent feedback from damaging your ears. Anytime it detects a prolonged spike in volume, the unit will kill the signal to your in-ears. A lot of the reason that we make the switch to in-ears is for our health, so I was really glad to see that in there. Through the years, I've helped a lot of bands build in-ear rigs that let them control every aspect of the experience, so they can be positive that it works on every stage because they're isolated from the front of house mixer. And that's great, but it's cumbersome to add to your rig that way. Products like the SoundTap take a serious look at how we as musicians actually use our gear. And they seek to simplify the experience, giving us control of only the pieces we really need in the moment, the volume. These are the products that are going to make our lives easier, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of the world gets on with SoundTap. Thanks so much to Ultimate Ears for the opportunity to take a first look at the SoundTap Personal Monitoring DI. Thanks to John Francis for being a guinea pig. Thanks to Damaged Goods for letting me come down and harass their drummer. And thanks to you for watching. You can hit me up with questions in the comments. Do you think SoundTap would fit into your rig? And of course, do the thing. Like, subscribe, check out all the other wackiness at freetoastermedia.com.